Hello everyone, I just walk out the metro station and go to the Hubei Provincial Museum. The Hubei Provincial Museum has several entrances. The north gate is the closest for public transportation, while there are also separate entrances for those driving or taking a taxi, which facilitates visitors' flow. Located in the East Lake Scenic Area, the museum is a very nice place. The sign at the entrance of the Hubei Provincial Museum was inscribed by Dong Biwu, and many people were taking photos with the gate. This is the north gate. It is closer to the public transportation. Security check. Okay, I passed through the security check. It is said that 3 men supported the Hubei Provincial Museum: Goujian, the king of Yue, the king of Liang, and Zhongxiang. The Hubei Provincial Museum is built in a style of traditional Chu architecture, but the interior is of course a modern facility. In the very center of the square, many people were resting. There are 2 paid exhibition halls on both sides. Admission to the Hubei Provincial Museum is free, but there are 2 additional paid attractions: a performance of chime bells and a VR show featuring the Sword of Goujian, king of Yue. So first, let's go to the main hall. I'm now entering the North Hall, which displays some general history. There is also a South Hall, which has special exhibitions of cultural relics. There's no doubt that my first goal is the Sword of Goujian. Once you arrive at the South Exhibition Hall, you will see this spiral staircase. Just follow the crowd. The largest number of people are there to see the Sword of Goujian, king of Yue. There it is. That's right. The queue almost circled the entire hall. Fortunately, just as I reached the end of the queue, a group of people were left in from the front. Well, relatively speaking, the queue is not long. Each time, a group of people are let in, and then the queue moves forward. And the exhibition hall of Zhongxiang is on my right hand. That's my next target. Okay, let's move on. Several major highlights are in the South Exhibition Hall. After waiting a few more minutes, I passed through a checkpoint. As soon as we arrived at the entrance of the exhibition hall, everyone raised their phones. Well, I spent about 10 minutes to reach the entrance of the exhibition hall. So do you know what does the 8 characters above mean? It means the king of Yue, Goujian, made the sword for himself. Look at the crowd around the sword. It was impossible to squeeze in. So luckily, I brought a special weapon, a stabilizer. The staff is kept on reminding, turn off the flash. In December 1965, the Sword of Goujian, king of Yue, from the spring and autumn period, was unearthed from tomb number 1 of the Chu state at Wangshan, Jiangling, Hubei Province. On August 19, 2013, it was included in the 3rd batch of cultural relics prohibited from being exhibited abroad. The Sword of Goujian is one of the 4 treasures of the Hubei Provincial Museum. Its beautiful design and high artistic value fully reflect the superb skills of ancient Chinese sword-making craftsmen. It is hailed as the #1 sword under heaven and is a rare gem among bronze weapons. It is of great value for studying the history of the Yue state and understanding ancient Chinese bronze casting techniques and writing. Of course, there is a question that has puzzled many people. The ancient Yue kingdom's territory was mainly located in present-day Zhejiang province, thousands of miles away from Hubei province. It is still a mystery that why this sword is unearthed in Hubei. Dowry or slaughter, which one do you think? Historically, the states of Chu and Yue had intermarried. Later, Chu destroyed Yue. So, both the dowry theory and the worst boy theory have supporters. King of Swords, known as the best sword of the world. In fact, there are quite a few ancient swords from the spring and autumn and warring states periods among existing cultural relics, but this is the only one whose inscription identifies it as the sword of King Goujian of Yue. The value of cultural relics is sometimes complementary to that of historical figures. King Goujian of Yue is a well-known historical figure in China, and he is also the source of the idiom sleeping on firewood and tasting gall. Therefore, this sword possesses unique historical value. After the sword was unearthed, it was verified through multiple rounds of research that the inscription Goujian on the sword was confirmed to be a variant of Goujian's name. Well, okay, that's all for this exhibition hall. And then let's go to the exhibition hall of Zhongxiang. And this is also a heavyweight national treasure. So this exhibition hall is for ancient accessories. By the introduction, accessories, which is a symbol of both political and moral stature. Wow, how spectacular. Well, the ancient utensils displayed in this exhibition hall include bronze, lacquerware, etc. But strangely, Zheng Houyi has never been recorded in historical documents. We know him came entirely from that archaeological excavation. real gold.
把小勺子，而且它有什么特点？镂空的。
This exhibition hall displays weapons and chariots and horses. So let's go downstairs to see the highlight chime. A shock that I can't describe in words. Suizhou, Hubei Province, strategically located at a gateway to the Central Plains from north, has historically been a vital military stronghold during the spring and autumn and warrior siege period. It was a crucial passage for the state of Chu in its quest for dominance in the Central Plains. Geographically, the Suizhou corridor and the Nanyang Basin served as vital north-south roads and the confluence of northern Central Plains culture and southern Chu culture. During the warring states period, a small vassal state, the Zheng state, existed here. It was so insignificant that it is completely absent from surviving historical records. However, with the opening of the tomb of Marquis Yi of Zeng in 1978, the tiny Zheng state began to gain international fame more than 2,000 years later. Approximately 15,404 funerary objects were unearthed from the tomb. Bronzes appears as if they were just placed underground. Lacquerware and wooden artifacts are as vibrant as new. Bamboo slips bear clear ink marks, and most notably, a completely set of musical instruments, including chime bells and chime stones, which are extremely rare. The tomb of Marquis Yi of Zeng contained a large number of musical instruments, with inscriptions on bells and chimes containing numerous texts on music theory and scales, demonstrating the importance Marquis Yi placed on instrument making and the study of musical scales during his lifetime. The tomb also contained a large number of exquisitely cast bronze artifacts, as well as masterpieces of painting, sculpture, and calligraphy. Many of these artifacts were not funerary objects, but rather items used by Marquis Yi during his lifetime, many of which he personally supervised in their creation, indicating his broad interests, multifaceted talents, and high level of artistic appreciation. Bells first appeared in China during the Shang Dynasty, initially consisting of only 3 to 5 bells. This number increased to 9 to 13 during the Zhou Dynasty and reached 61 bells during the warring states period. People assembled bells into sets based on their size, tone, and pitch. Do you know what does it use for? It's a refrigerator in 2,000 years ago. Its process is very complicated and it is said that it's difficult to copy that even now. The zun is a wine vessel, while the pan is generally used as a water vessel. The two are combined into one. The zun contains wine mixed with the juice of herbs. It is poured into offerings to the deceased during sacrifices and into drinks for guests during banquets. Few bronze vessels have been unearthed. Only 4 have been discovered to date, both domestically and internationally. This is the first time one has been found in Hubei Province. I entered from the second floor, and this exit is on the first floor. Because of the massive scale of the Marquis Yi of Zeng's chime bells, this exhibition hall is a duplex with 2 floors, allowing access from both the upper and lower levels. Next, I visited the exhibition on the history of the Zeng state, which was also known as the Sui state. The present-day Suizhou city in Hubei Province is named after the ancient Sui state. This state is only mentioned sporadically in extant historical documents, yet its archaeological discoveries have astonished the academic world. Turning to classical texts, the Spring and Autumn Annals and Zhuang contains numerous records of the Sui state. These records clearly outline the geographical location and political status of the Sui state, but make no mention of the Zeng state. However, starting from the Song Dynasty, bronze artifacts bearing the inscription Zeng have been continuously unearthed in Suizhou and Zhongxiang in Hubei Province and Nanyang in Henan Province. On one hand, there is the Sui state clearly recorded in historical documents. On the other hand, there is the Zeng state proven by archaeological evidence. Their geographical locations overlap. Their existence is consistent, yet their names are vastly different. These contradictions have given rise to the Zeng Sui mystery. Scholars have proposed various hypotheses, such as 2 states coexisting, the Zeng state destroying the Sui state, and the Sui state changing its name, but all lack direct evidence to support them. Finally, it was proven that these were 2 names for the same country. Zeng state was the official name of the country, while Sui state was named after its capital, Sui. This is also common in history. Next is the exhibition hall for Prince Liangzhuang, which is set in the Ming Dynasty about 600 years ago. This exhibition hall is famous for its luxurious accessories. After Zhu Yuanzhang established the Ming Dynasty, he involved his sons throughout the country and established a system whereby, apart from one son who would inherit the throne, the rest would be involved as princes. Prince Liangzhuang was the 9th son of the 3rd emperor of the Ming Dynasty, and his fief was located in present-day Zhongxiang, Jingmen. However, he died at the age of 30 without any sons, so the title of Prince Liang in the Ming Dynasty only existed for 1 generation. Nevertheless, his home was extremely luxurious, yielding a great many garments, utensils, jewelry, and other items. In particular, the weight of the gold artifacts alone would be worth tens of millions of yuan, even without considering their cultural value based solely on current gold market prices. There is a golden basin. This golden basin deserves special mention. There's a Chinese idiom called washing hands in a golden basin, and many people make the gesture of washing their hands here. However, the true meaning of this idiom refers to thieves and other underworld figures who, after making money, reform themselves and abandon their former bad ways. So I didn't do that because it felt like I was implying to myself that I was a bad person in the past. This gold nugget is engraved with inscriptions, and it is said to have been purchased by Zheng He during his voyages to the Western Ocean. Next up is a long string of gold bracelets, which is also a very popular cultural relic. Many people take photos here from different angles as if they were wearing them themselves. This is a salted fish from over 2,000 years ago, and it is also a very rare cultural relic. So this introduces the differences between pottery and porcelain. This Yuan Dynasty porcelain is also a very rare national treasure. There are only 2 left in the world, both in Wuhan. Another is in Wuhan Museum. The one we see now was collected by the Hubei Provincial Museum and was unearthed from a tomb. The one in the Wuhan Museum is even rarer and has always been in circulation. It was acquired by the Wuhan Museum in the 1980s for 60,000 yuan. It can currently be called a priceless treasure. That's all for today's tour. History is not only the past, but also summarizes our experience. So that's all for today's trip.